Hello everyone, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. Wishing you all a delightful listening experience. Today, I'm here to interpret a significant work by the economist F. A. Hayek, Denationalization of Money. This book marks the culmination of Hayek's focus on economics in his later years. Within the field of economics, Hayek stands as a master. He is renowned for advocating a free market and opposing Keynesianism. Hayek and Keynes are a pair of intertwined academic rivals. In essence, Keynes believed that effective demand could be created through state actions. During economic downturns, governments could invest in infrastructure projects or issue currency to stimulate the economy. For instance, after the 2008 financial crisis, the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates multiple times, implemented quantitative easing, and increased the money supply to boost the U.S. economy. On the other hand, Hayek contended that only individual demand is truly effective. State intervention in the economy, according to him, leads to various problems and disruptions within the economic system. Based on this premise, Hayek formulated economic theories, asserting that the root cause of capitalist economic crises lies in excessive money issuance. When money is overissued, people tend to overconsume, resulting in insufficient production resources and economic stagnation. This theory led to Hayek being awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics in 1974. Beyond his scholarly achievements, Hayek's influence extended to the real world. U.S. President Reagan and British Prime Minister Thatcher both endorsed Hayek's ideas and applied related theories during their governance. Reagan's presidency saw the U.S. not only weather the severe economic crisis from 1979 to 1982 but also enter a new phase of sustained economic growth lasting 72 months. In the UK, Thatcher not only overcame inflation but also steered the country back onto a growth trajectory, becoming the longest-serving Prime Minister of the 20th century. In 1975, shortly after becoming leader of the Conservative Party, Thatcher arranged a meeting with Hayek. Subsequently, she publicly brandished a copy of The Constitution of Liberty by Hayek, asserting that this book represented their shared beliefs. She even thumped the book on the table for emphasis. For Hayek, the most effective economic policy for driving development is to grant people freedom, ignite entrepreneurial zeal, and thus foster robust market competition. Such competition leads to the triumph of the best businesses and entrepreneurs, ultimately delivering the finest goods and services to consumers. While Hayek's ideas are generally acclaimed and respected, they are intensely controversial in a particular realm, the domain of money. In our daily lives, currency is indispensable, be it for shopping, investing, or saving. Presently, governments issue the currencies used in various countries, and typically, foreign currencies are not allowed to circulate within a country. Hayek challenges this conventional view and advocates for denationalization of money. He questions why currency should be treated uniquely when free competition is deemed most efficient in the general market. He suggests a revolutionary idea, abolishing central banking systems and permitting competing private currencies. Through this competition, the market would identify the best form of money. This notion might sound radical, and Hayek himself understood this. Hence, he penned Denationalization of Money to articulate his logic. In this book, Hayek elaborates on his propositions through three main sections, outlining issues with the current monetary system, questioning whether money must be monopolistically issued by governments, and discussing feasible approaches to introducing free competition in the currency market. Let's begin with the first section, issues arising from current monetary policy. In modern nations, currency issuance is under government control. Governments adjust the money supply based on circumstances, often choosing to expand it during economic downturns to stimulate the economy. Take, for instance, the case of the U.S. Federal Reserve after the 2008 financial crisis. However, excessive currency expansion leads to two major problems. Firstly, it triggers inflation and currency devaluation. Secondly, it distorts price markets, resulting in increasing unemployment rates. Inflation, simply put, means there's more money in circulation, causing money to lose its value over time. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, from 1913 to 2013, the value of the U.S. dollar depreciated by 20 times. In extreme cases, as seen after World War I, excessive money issuance led to unimaginable devaluation. Germany, facing exorbitant war reparations, resorted to massive money printing to raise funds, causing hyperinflation. In 1923, Germany's inflation rate surged by 2,500% monthly, with prices skyrocketing. Workers were paid twice daily, and the price of an evening bread loaf equaled that of a morning house moving. Hyperinflation worsens wealth inequality. The middle class tends to store money in banks, while the wealthy have diverse investment options. During inflation, the wealthy benefit from their investments, while the middle class experiences the devaluation of their bank savings. Moreover, Hayek identified a less apparent yet equally significant consequence of excessive money issuance: distorted price mechanisms leading to unemployment. When different industries react differently to increased money supply, incorrect business decisions can lead to layoffs. The UK in the mid-20th century serves as an example. Government interventions, like nationalizations, aimed at revitalizing industries but instead hampered efficiency and investment. By the 1970s, most state-run sectors operated at a loss. These interventions had negative effects on economic growth and employment. The Keynesian approach led to a global phenomenon of stagnation despite persistent inflation, which contradicted the intended goals. Hayek argued that relying on excessive money issuance for short-term employment growth ultimately destabilizes the economy, perpetuating price fluctuations and economic instability. The joint communiqué issued after a summit on May 8, 1977, attended by leaders including the UK Prime Minister, US President, and German Chancellor, acknowledged Hayek's view. It stated that inflation isn't a solution to unemployment but one of its significant causes. Reflecting on the current government-driven monetary systems, continuous currency expansion yields two major challenges: currency devaluation and market distortions leading to unemployment. As you delve into this first section, you'll likely find yourself following Hayek's line of thinking. Given the evident problems with the current monetary policy, is this the only viable form of currency system? Does currency issuance necessarily have to be under government control? We are now moving into the second section, where we will address the question from three perspectives: the historical evolution of currency, limitations of national currency policies, and the inherent functions of money. Let's first delve into the history of currency. The origin of money dates back significantly earlier than the histories of many nations. Why did money come into existence? It was due to the inconvenience of barter in the process of commodity exchange. A medium of exchange was needed. The hippopotamus epoch, for instance, often used cattle to measure the value of goods. In Africa, Ethiopia, salt served as currency. In the Americas, tobacco and cocoa beans were used. In certain places within the Japanese East Indies, shells served as currency. Historically, early forms of currency often relied on mutual recognition between individuals and had little to do with governments. The founding father of economics, Adam Smith, believed that government has three primary responsibilities: national defense, judiciary, and public services. In his view, currency issuance didn't fall within these responsibilities. However, the appearance of metallic coins like gold, salt, and copper brought about a change. People were willing to recognize their value due to their belief that these coins contained equivalent valuable metals. Hayek highlighted in his book that it was only when metals were stamped with the authorities' seal that people would trust in their accurate weight and quality. In other words, the government functioned as a guarantee for the consistency of the coin's composition, ensuring their true value. Over time, governments found coinage to be profitable, especially when citizens had no other choice but to use the government-provided currency. The practice of coinage tax, extracted to cover the cost of coin production, became a lucrative revenue stream, exceeding the cost of manufacturing coins. Simultaneously, governments started treating currency as a vital tool for policy implementation. This tool significantly bolstered governmental power, facilitating widespread growth in various sectors. Modern politics, to a large extent, is based on the assumption that governments have the authority to create any amount of currency according to their wishes and make people accept it. Currency thus became a potent instrument for governments to secure their rule. To maintain their monopoly, governments devised various laws and administrative measures, often penalizing those who refused to accept legal tender. Gradually, people equated currency with legal tender. However, after obtaining a monopoly on currency, governments didn't necessarily wield it prudently. Hayek believed that state monetary policies couldn't serve the universal interest due to the necessity for government support from specific interest groups. In catering to these interests, governments manipulate the quantity of currency to meet these demands. As a result, significant funds are expended to bribe those with the loudest voices, creating a far from appropriate relief mechanism that disrupts normal market functioning. Hayek also delved into the functional attributes of money. He regarded money as a distinct commodity that serves four purposes, allowing many things to be candidates for currency. First, it acts as an intermediary in purchasing goods and services for circulation and exchange. Second, it serves as a reserve to meet future needs. Third, it functions for deferred payment in contractual agreements, as seen in bills of exchange used in international trade. Lastly, it acts as an accounting unit, especially in record-keeping. In summary, this second section provides a comprehensive understanding of the history of money, highlighting its long existence and various spontaneously created forms. However, over the past few centuries, currency issuance has come under government dominance. With control over currency issuance, governments seek to exert greater control over economic operations, securing a monopoly through political means and regulating the economy through monetary policy. Hayek's life's work was dedicated to advocating for market-driven economies, rather than government-driven ones. He authored a highly influential book titled The Road to Serfdom. Hayek argued that planned economies inevitably involve a central planner who allocates resources, but such a planner can never acquire enough information to allocate resources effectively, given the vastness of the market. He emphasized that excessive governmental intervention in the economy results in substantial power accumulation, leading to encroachments into other domains, ultimately leading to human subjugation. After exploring the discussions in the first two sections, it is evident that the linkage between money and government is not innate, and the existing monetary system is fraught with issues, necessitating a transformation. Now, let's delve into the third section of this book. How can we establish a system of freely issued currency that operates effectively? We mentioned the four functions of money earlier, which can be considered as the foundational attributes of currency. Building upon these attributes, Hayek pointed out two additional factors for a currency to function broadly in the market. The first factor is that the currency must be widely recognized and trusted, meaning its value should be fully accepted by people. The second factor is that the price level of the currency needs to maintain relative stability to prevent economic chaos. According to Hayek, if different banks are allowed to issue their own currencies and compete with each other, both of these conditions can be met. This idea is not without precedent. The market operation model of China's Qing dynasty pawnshops shares many similarities with Hayek's concept. The first pawnshop in China was called Rixingchang. It initially conducted business in salt and then transitioned to a pawnshop. During the Qing dynasty in the Guangxu era, it became China's first private financial institution specializing in deposit, loan, and exchange services. It became known as the exchange that connects the world. Rixingchang Pawnshop issued a document, referred to as a draft, by Gu Yanwu in Dei Lu, and sometimes directly as a bill. This draft was exchangeable for salt in many places across the country. For merchants conducting business nationwide, carrying salt was both cumbersome and unsafe, whereas drafts were highly convenient. Recognizing the potential of the pawnshop business, many merchants established similar institutions, engaging in fierce competition. By the late Qing dynasty, Rixingchang and other pawnshops like Waitaihu, Tianchangan, and others were flourishing in the financial market. Even the prominent merchant Hu Shuyan entered the market, founding Fukang Qianzhuang, Fukang Money Shop. Pawnshops played a significant role in the late Qing financial market. In the 13th year of the Guangxu Emperor's reign, the China Railway Company, backed by Li Hongzhang, faced funding shortages while constructing the Jinggu Railway. They sought assistance from Shaanxi pawnshops for loan support. After 1900, in addition to establishing pawnshops domestically, Shaanxi merchants set up pawnshops in foreign countries such as Incheon in Korea, Osaka, Kobe, Yokohama, and Tokyo in Japan. Of course, drafts were quite different from modern currency. They were generally not used in daily commodity purchases and had a narrower circulation range compared to currency. Hayek's critics still argue that currency is a natural monopoly and shouldn't be subjected to market competition. However, Hayek contends that this criticism is fundamentally unfounded. Throughout much of the 20th century, economists and officials hastily claimed that industries like telephone, water supply, electricity, and railways were natural monopolies. Subsequent history proved otherwise, as these sectors flourished through competition. Perhaps there is no such thing as a natural monopoly industry. Monopoly often arises not just from government actions but also from opposition by vested interests. Suppose currency issuance were truly liberalized. In that case, it might harm the interests of many current banks, subjecting them to intensified competition. Consequently, these banks often oppose the denationalization of currency. As a representative of liberalism, Hayek transcends specific interest groups. He believes that granting sufficient freedom allows individuals to showcase their talents, fostering competition in the market. Entrepreneurs will strive to provide the best products and services to succeed. Ultimately, the superior ones prevail. He emphasizes that money is no different from other commodities, and supplying it through competition among private issuers is better than government monopoly. Economic actions based on the principle of self-reliance are more likely to yield positive outcomes than charity. In the example we just mentioned from the late Qing dynasty, there were numerous pawnshops across the nation. The proprietors' primary objective was profit, but they understood that protecting their credit was essential for sustainable profits. They employed various means to ensure the stability of draft values and their immediate convertibility. In such competition, outstanding pawnshops emerged. For instance, the renowned Jin businessman Caius Hayek upheld the principle of integrity, and under the name De Jing Shang operated De Detong and De Deheng, two major pawnshops. These establishments had a presence at various commercial ports throughout China. In order to help readers better understand the theoretical concept of privatized currency issuance, let's continue by exploring the fundamental attributes and requirements of a well-functioning currency system. Hayek also provided specific explanations regarding the rules and methods for issuing competitive currencies. First, he suggested granting multiple banks the authority to issue currencies, thereby offering people a variety of choices. When different currencies circulate concurrently in the market, those with stable prices and convenient exchange characteristics will naturally emerge as preferred options through competition. Over time, people will tend to use and even hold on to these currencies. In this process, each bank issuing currency understands that failing to meet people's expectations will result in an immediate loss of business. If success in this market is a profitable endeavor contingent upon establishing a reputation, each bank will strive to gain people's trust, making them believe in its capacity and determination to achieve its set objectives. In this framework, banks are incentivized to maintain stable currency prices. This system maximizes the expression of consumer power, as consumers' choice of currency effectively constitutes a vote. This voting mechanism ensures that even if banks are tempted to misbehave, they will be wary, given the existence of this system. This arrangement vividly illustrates Hayek's concept of consumer sovereignty. The term, consumer sovereignty, originated from Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, in The Wealth of Nations. Hayek extended this concept. His theory of consumer sovereignty underscores that consumers, based on their preferences, purchase goods from the market, effectively communicating their desires to producers. Consequently, all producers align with consumer opinions, arrange production, and supply the desired goods. In essence, what the market produces and how much is produced is ultimately determined by consumer preferences. Returning to the previously discussed monetary system, you might raise a question: how can the currencies issued by various banks maintain relatively stable price levels? How can banks control price fluctuations? Hayek proposed meticulous solutions. For instance, when a bank issues a currency, let's call it tomato coin. We need to select some essential necessities as benchmarks to control currency prices. For instance, suppose initially, purchasing a kilogram of rice, a kilogram of soybeans, a kilogram of wheat, a kilogram of oil, and a kilogram of coal costs 1,000 tomato coins. As time progresses, the prices of goods in the market change, and buying these commodities costs 1050 tomato coins. At this point, we can infer that tomato coin has experienced slight depreciation. The bank can then adjust the supply of tomato coins in the market through measures such as currency repurchase. Following this adjustment, the cost of purchasing the same commodity combination returns to approximately 1,000 tomato coins. This design underscores that tomato coin's price is based on essential consumer goods rather than investment behavior. This approach fundamentally safeguards consumer sovereignty. By now, you might be wondering, does Hayek's proposed system effectively control price fluctuations among different bank-issued currencies? Through the interpretations of this third section, it's clear that Hayek not only provided a profound critique of the prevailing monetary system but also identified constructive methods for reform. Overall, Hayek believed in the immense power of a free market. He asserted that money shouldn't be treated differently. If we have confidence in a market economy, we should also apply it to the realm of currency, introducing competition, allowing sound currencies to replace inferior ones, and achieving the denationalization of money. This, in turn, would enhance the efficiency and stability of the economy. Hayek's ideas were overlooked for a considerable period, as an increasing number of economists who leaned towards Keynesianism became the government's frontline advocates. When facing economic downturns, issuing money became policymakers' most frequently employed choice. Hayek's concepts remained theoretical constructs. However, with technological advancements, this situation has changed. The characteristics of blockchain technology, tamper resistance, decentralized trust, and its potential to actualize Hayek's vision, have paved the way for realization. In 2009, Bitcoin emerged as a cryptocurrency based on blockchain technology. Subsequently, other digital currencies like Ethereum and Litecoin came into existence. In the world of digital currency, there is no central bank-like entity. Digital currency issuance relies on computer calculations, and its circulation doesn't require intermediary banks. Anyone can freely make transactions online. Doesn't this sound somewhat akin to Hayek's envisioned monetary system? Cryptographer and Bitcoin researcher Nick Szabo argued that Hayek should be regarded as one of the pioneers of blockchain. Finally, let's discuss the background of Hayek's book. This book emerged on the eve of World War II when mismanagement of government currencies across European countries led to the Great Depression from 1929 to 1932. During that time, numerous economists became disillusioned with governments and sought potential international currency management solutions. They aimed to discover methods completely devoid of government control. It's important to note that Hayek's monetary theories in this book are highly radical. Opponents of Hayek's monetary perspective argue that such a system is politically unfeasible. Alright, I've provided an interpretation of the denationalization of money for you. Congratulations on completing another book. Thank you for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel, like, and share this valuable knowledge with friends around you. Let's combine wisdom with practice, achieve our financial goals, and create a better future together. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.